Greetings everybody, Admiral Neelix here. Welcome to Server 21. Now, Enterprise is on its way and it's in a hurry to try to go help a ship kill a boss ship. Now, this video is going to demonstrate what I lovingly call the double whammy, where you use two of your ships to kill a boss ship. So we're going to attempt this and try it out, and then we'll discuss screws and things of that nature. So while I'm setting up here, I'd like to thank all my viewers, subscribers, and commenters, those who have shared and liked and everything. You guys have been great. You're taking the true spirit of this channel and helping each other understand the mechanics of this game and such and such. Now, having said that, with the commenters, you guys have been wonderful. You've been helpful in many situations. One thing I need everybody to understand, and please, please understand this. Sometimes my situation won't fit what your suggestions may have. But, that's because of maybe lack of crew that you're talking about. My research hasn't been done. Maybe my officers aren't the level yours are. So what I want the viewers to do is take what I say, and if that situation doesn't fit your situation, then go to comments, because you'll probably find something within them that'll help you in your situation. Again, we're all helping each other out, and I appreciate it. I do, very much so. Thank you. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this, as I have both ships parked. What we're going to do is we're going to attack this Swarm Elite ship. As you see, it's an interceptor. Okay, now the reason why I'm going to bring up Combat Triangle again is because there are still crews out there, or alliance members, especially within my alliance, that forget to use that combat triangle, and they'll send the wrong ship after the type of ship that they're trying to battle, and usually it's the Swarm. They'll try to use battleship against it, and they'll do okay. It's a numbers game, so like what we like to do is find out how many ships we can kill in one trip. They'll do okay with like maybe the Kamari or maybe the Fendra or what have you in those lower levels. However, I'll tell them, well, okay, go ahead and try that with your Explorer. Usually it's going to be the Vaklas, or perhaps even the Mayflower, because some people don't really feel up to getting the Franklin, and so I'll say use an Explorer in that situation, and of course have Pike, Moreau, Talon on there. And then they come back saying, you know what, I killed about like 6 more than I normally would, or hey, now I'm able to complete my dailies because of that and all this stuff. So these are the type of things that I'm teaching the newer members of this game, that come to join our particular server and end up on my team. And welcome everybody, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do here in this situation, we're going to use the Enterprise, which is an Explorer, and according to that combat triangle, it should have a slight advantage over this Swarm ship, which is an Interceptor. However, in a moment, I'm going to show you the strength difference between these ships as to why some of that isn't going to be really into play. But there is something that I need that Enterprise to do. Then, of course, Auger, being a battleship, is not going to have that particular advantage over that Interceptor, because Interceptor has the advantage over battleship. But I'm going to try to use the brute strength of not only the ship, but the abilities of the crew to kind of counterbalance that, to try to make this double whammy work. All right, so, and if I'm talking a little fast, it's because I've been trying to do this video over and over again, and I keep going at about 20 minutes. So I'm going to try not to segue so much. All right, so what we want to do is take your first ship, in this case Enterprise, and we're going to go ahead and target the enemy. As soon as that as soon as I hit attack, I'm going to tap on the Auger and then tap on that enemy ship so that it'll show this window, and as soon as attack is available, I'm going to be able to hit it because it'll already be locked on. You want to do that because I want you to notice that when I tap on this again, you're going to see underneath the silhouetted face up there where it says Swarm Elite, Mission Objective, you're going to see the shields and the hull go down a little bit. And what I'm hoping to do is get that Auger into the battle while those shields are still down, to see if I can't take care of the rest of the hull. Okay, so let's see how close we get, or if we even defeat this thing. So, Enterprise first, attack, tapping Auger, tapping onto the enemy ship, and you see the shields are down, a little bit of that hull, waiting for attack, all right, and let's see, where are you? Tap him again, and there. It's a victory. Okay, so there you go. Let me go ahead and get past all of this dialogue. All right, so you saw that I won, barely though. Okay, look at that hole on my auger while the shields are building up there. We're going to go into battle logs in just a moment. Let me go ahead and recall that ship. It should just take about a minute and a half or so to get home. And while that's happening, let's go ahead and fix this up so we can take a look at a couple of things here. Now, while the auger is on its way home, let's take a look at the crew that I have on board for the Enterprise. And now I can slow down on my talk for some reason. It looks like I'm going to be under time. So, again, I'm trying not to have so many segues. Just bear with me. Let's go into assign officers. Take a look at this bridge crew, starting with Captain Kirk and his info. So he's synergized with Uhura, and what we're looking at is 3D strategist on here. So 3D strategist, when fighting players at the start of each turn, as long as the ship has morale, TOS James T. Kirk increases the damage of the energy weapons by 100% of the total defense of all officers on the ship, cumulative. All right? So that kind of tags on, right? Now, it's all we have to go on. At the start of each round, if the ship's health is above 30% of its starting value, TOS James T. Kirk has a 75% chance to inspire morale to the ship for this round. Now, some people don't understand this morale thing and why the Federation has it versus the hull breach of the might of the Klingons, or the energy weapons, that the causes the burning from the Romulans. Now, morale is kind of one of those things that, imagine one of those movies, like a football-based movie or something like that, where the coach gives that one last speech to inspire all the players to play their best, and then they win the game because morale was up. Your ship is dying. Your ship is under heavy attack, and yet because of your morale levels are up because of some speech that the captain gave, you're all like, you know what, let's win this one for the Gipper, That's kind of what that morale is doing. It's putting everybody in the mood to try harder and do their best and all, and then they overcome. That's kind of the idea around there. It doesn't really make the energy beam shoots a little stronger or whatever. It's just now they're trying their best. So, hey, they gave it under the 10% and got it out of there, right? Let's go to Uhura. Now, we're using her modulation to frequency found when fighting players. As long as the ship has morale, TOS Nyota Uhura removes 10% from the shield mitigation of the opponent's ship. Shield mitigation determines the amount of damage dealt to the shield or health. And then let's take a look at her captain thing, since it's synergized with it. When fighting players, as long as the ship has morale, TOS Nyota Uhura decreases the opponent's critical hit by 10%. Now, you may have noticed right now, but you're not fighting a player, you're fighting a yellow boss. True. I believe that those yellow bosses are Scopely's way of helping you determine who to use against other players. I think it's a training thing to help you start getting used to the whole PvP thing. As I've told you many times before, my crew is mostly PvE, and I'm not talking about the crew on the ship, I'm talking about my alliance members. We kind of like to stick to our own, but we will defend ourselves if possible when need be. So this is a good training tool as to who to use on what ship against what ships. In this case, it was fighting a interceptor. As you saw, the Enterprise took down a little bit of its shield, a little bit of its hull, and the Auger, with the abilities of that crew, was able to finish it off. Let's take a look at Marcus up here. Okay, so Marcus, he was using strictly his officer ability because he's not synergized with any of them. Shady methods. At the start of battle, Alexander Marcus increases the shield piercing of the ship by 400% of the defense of the crew on the ship. So any of these officers that are on bridge and crew, and that would be Cross, Uhura, and Kang, or Chang rather, any defense that they have on their attack, defense, and health, it increased that. The defense is what helped that ship last a little longer, just long enough to take those shields down and that hull down enough for that auger to finish. So that's why this crew worked as a great big starting ship. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over now that Auger should be back in dock. Let's go ahead and repair her real quick. Repair. We're going to repair her. All right. While I'm drinking a Coors Light. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Get this over with. All right. Get on there. Got about 5 more minutes or so. Let's see what I can do. Okay. So we're going to go on to her captain. We are going to use, surprisingly, 5 of 11. Okay. Weaponry is irrelevant. 5 of 11 increases the shield, deflection, armor, and dodge by 200% of the total health of the officers on the ship. So with the of the health of the defense, and all that, those are what determine your defense and health, are the armor, for the dodge of them, the shield, deflection, and so on. Okay, so she was helping that the whole crew along with that. You will be assimilated. She didn't really use this because she was captain, and her officer ability really has to do with the amount of loot that an enemy drops. Okay, so that's a whole different doohickey right there. Now, Kahn. We're going to jump over to Kahn. Of course, he didn't use Ruthless Mastermind. They're not synergized. He went to Savage Tenacity. Every time the ship is hit by a ship or defense platform weapon attack, Kahn increases the critical hits chances by 4% cumulative. So anytime that he came in there, he was increasing the critical hit chances. So anytime that ship took a big hit, that swarm ship that we just beat, it was because most likely Kahn gave it a little bit more chance there to hit that ship as a critical. All right, now let's go ahead and come on over to Mr. Kang. All right, Blood Oath is what we're using here as his officer ability. At the start of battle, Kang increases the accuracy of the ship by 200% of the attack of the crew on the ship. Now, so taking the attack value that crew had, not only the bridge members, but all of these members you see on the lower deck there, he took their attack ability and raised that ability enough to make it, to use that attack ability as an accuracy to give that ship more hits instead of misses. Because even though you don't see it within that little dance that they do on their pre-animated programmed battle, all you see is 2 ships dancing around each other, hitting each other. But because of, the imagination and stats and all this stuff, some of those projectiles and even the beams will actually miss. Okay? Kang here helps it hit them a little more often during that battle. All right, so for those of you, real quick, since I got a minute, we're going to take a look at a battle log on here. Let's get through that dialogue. All right, and go to Swarm Elite. As you saw there, at a glimpse, I was trying many times to beat that ship. Finally, this video, right? Okay, so battle log. As usual, I'm just going to go through the first 3. I'm not going to read them out to you, so what you want to do is hit the pause button. It will show up in the middle of the screen, so it won't disrupt anything that you're trying to see. There, I just caught a glimpse that Kahn had put in a little bit. There he goes again, Savage Tenacity again to give that critical hit. So he played a big deal into this, along with the abilities of the ship itself. We're on to round 2. Again, Auger, 5 of 11. Weaponry is irrelevant. She went ahead and hit a little bit there. Auger's doing its own thing there. 5 of 11, scoring again. So her and Kahn, and then Kahn twice here, gave it a good. He gave it a good run. Now I want you to pay attention also to the strength of my ship. It was a 3.8, almost 9 million strength against a 5.6 enemy ship. All right. So when you're talking about your crews, when you're talking about the abilities and all, this is why. All right. Your crew abilities are more important than the strength of the ship. I have to just keep on reiterating that to a lot of my newer folks who come onto my team when they are trying to use everybody that gives that ship more power, But then I say, no. You got to use these particular people because their abilities trump everything else. It's like I always say, would you rather have a chef make your dinner or a bricklayer make your dinner? The bricklayer may know how to turn on the oven, but does he know how to scramble an egg? All right, does that make sense? So, abilities over strength. Always remember that in this game. It uses a reverse logic. Okay, so having said all that, and going through everything we went to, it was a successful battle with 2 ships against 1. I talked about technique, I talked about crews, how to use PvP crew against an actual AI in the game and make it that much better. All right. So I hope this video helps you. If you liked it, please like. If you want to share or go down my playlist and see if there's something else I might have answered for you in another video, please comment. Tell me how I could have done this better. Okay, I do understand that I could have used that auger by itself as one hit with a certain crew on there. However, I don't have Picard yet. I just got Yar yesterday. I do have Beverly, I have Wesley, Riker, and Worf from that crew. So if Yar is going to work at all, tell me yes or no. Do I need Picard to do it? All right. Well, folks, this is another day. And thank you for watching. And I hope you had a great holiday. And as always, until next time, have fun and take care.